And we all know that Kyler Murray got this incredible contract. And we had talked about it from, the moment he requested the contract. He scrubbed his Instagram and seemed like he was going to be salty and might want out of Arizona if they don't give him the new deal. Well, they gave him the new deal. And he is now the second highest paid player in the NFL, in NFL history, of course, making $46 million a year. So good for him. Good for him. And I'll say this before we get into the meat of what we want to talk about, Rob, because both you and I agreed that, look, it's 3 years. We still got you under contract for at least 2 more years. They can franchise him after that. There's no need to rush. But here's what I'll say. I came to this conclusion about a month or so ago, maybe a little more. Look, I do think Kyler Murray, I don't know that he's going to be a perennial all-pro. I don't know that he can lead them to a Super Bowl victory. But I do think he is a franchise quarterback, Rob. And I do think he's a very good quarterback at this point. And so if he continues on that trajectory, and they have improved every year, not only him, but the team. They won 11 games. They were a 3-win team when he got there. They won 11 last year. If he continues on this trajectory, Rob, and you were going to pay him, say, next offseason or the next offseason, then that $46 million per that you gave him, Rob, it would have been in the 50s at least. And so, hey, should he be the second highest quarterback in the league? No. But we know how this works. It's all about timing. And so I'm fine with the deal.
No, I hear you. The only thing I would say, and it's true, the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you. So we saw that. And we do understand the timing because a couple years ago, people were outraged that Matthew Stafford was the highest paid player in the NFL. Remember, we got that deal. Yep. It was just the timing.
Jimmy G.
Yeah, just the timing issue, not anything else. But in the case of Kyler Murray, the only thing that is, Chris, in another year, you might have been able to say, after that, coming off that,
not our guy.
You know what I mean? Like coming off that playoff performance, if they took a step back this year, if there was any other sign, you know what I mean? You could be like, I don't know. You could have wound up doing like they did with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield won the 11 games, Chris, won the playoff game, right? Then they didn't pay him the next year. They didn't pay him that offseason. They waited a year, and then they decided to pull the plug and go out in a different route. So I know what you're saying, and it makes total sense if you're convinced that he's that guy. And obviously they must be because they pulled the trigger and gave him a lot of money. So I'm saying, yes, he must be their guy, and that's why they feel comfortable. But it's not a slam dunk that it's going to work or that he's going to get you where you want to go.
Well, here's why it's not a slam dunk, Rob. And here's why, at least potentially, as you mentioned, they might have questions about him going forward, even though they paid him. The deal, Rob, it includes an unprecedented clause in the contract. All right, this is reported by Pro Football Talk and Mike Florio. He says that Kyler Murray's contract requires that Murray engage in at least 4 hours of independent film study each week of the season. And that is from the Monday after training camp ends through the last game on the schedule, including the playoffs. And so I don't know how in the world they're going to enforce this, but here's a few details.
Well, it's embarrassing that's even in there.
This independent film study, Rob, the team will provide it to Kyler, and he'll have to study it in preparation for that week's game. But he must, let me just read it. The player shall not receive any credit for the independent study with respect to any time periods during which any material is displayed or played on an iPad or electronic device if, one, the player is not personally studying or watching the material while it's being displayed. So he can't just set it on his counter and run it, right? And then be off doing whatever he wants to do, shooting baskets or playing video games. That's number one. Number two, if he's engaged in any other activity that might distract his attention. So he's in front of the computer, but he's watching television. He's searching the web, whatever he might doing, it doesn't count. Now, I don't know how in the world they're going to enforce this, Rob. Maybe there's something special on the iPad. But the bottom line is this. I'm with you. This is embarrassing for Kyler Murray. And well, you know what? Go ahead and say your piece because I got a little caveat I'm gonna throw you.
No, I'm just saying it's embarrassing that needs to be included. Chris, you only play once a week. Football's different, right, than the other sports where you're playing a lot more, so there's more time for preparation.
Absolutely.
Video is a bigger part of the game than most sports. Not that the other ones don't look at stuff, and I know guys look at pitches, Chris, during games, at bats. Right. What the guy threw me in the first inning, I'm coming up again in the third, and he wants to kind of get a feel for it. So people are watching stuff all the time, but this whole notion that you got to do some video training and we got to stipulate exactly how you watch it so you can't just turn it on and have it on in the room, that you actually have to look at it. I think that speaks volumes about him, where he is, and maybe the maturity part of it. And Chris, when you weren't here last week, we had somebody on from Phoenix who said even to this day, he's never fully accepted the blame for the poor playoff game. Like it's everybody else.
Right.
And that he didn't play poorly.
Look,
that bothers me.
He's a guy, Rob. And I'm sure it's been a strength, but you know the saying, sometimes your biggest strength can be your biggest weakness. He's never had real failure in football. Never. He was, a high school legend. He was a college legend. And he's had, for the most part, success in the NFL. Obviously hadn't won the big game. And so it probably is hard for him to see his flaws, see his faults. And that might be, Rob, one of the reasons he doesn't do film study. Because when you look at film, you see
flaws.
Your problems, right? You see what you need to correct. Now, here's the twist I'm going to throw in it, because I agree. It's not a good look. It speaks to immaturity, and it speaks to why the team had questions about giving you this deal, even though obviously they did at the end of the day. It took them a while. And all that's legit. I mean, Rob, if you have to put into the contract all of these stipulations, my man wasn't doing a thing.
No, that's what it sounds like.
He was not doing a thing. All right. But here's the twist I would put on it. And I'm not saying this is like a fact and it's definitely going to happen, but I am saying it is a light at the end of the tunnel. Rob, he did, and I get it, he was horrible, not just bad, horrible in that playoff game.
Right.
But the success that he has had in the NFL, he's improved his yards per game. He's improved his passer rating. He's improved his completion percentage every single year that he's been in the NFL. Rob, he's done all that basically on natural ability. He's not studying. He's not doing all that to improve. He's going out there like he's playing in the backyard. And he still has had tremendous success. So I would say this, and I think this is probably what the Cardinals are looking at, because obviously they don't like the fact that he isn't studying, but they still gave him the deal. And Rob, that tells me that they're probably looking at it like, man, this dude, sky's the limit with him, because he's done all of this without studying a lick. And so I do think I hear you and I agree. It looks bad. It almost treats him like a child. Not almost. It does really, right? But if he can If he follows suit, and he allowed it to be put into his contract, if he follows suit, then I think you could see him take another leap that could really, he's already a 2-time Pro Bowler that could really take him to the next level.
Yeah, but see, here's my thing. I shouldn't have to put it in writing.
Agreed.
I should be able to have that conversation with you and say, Kyler, look at what you've achieved, right, so far, and you're not there, but you can get there if you would just work at it. You need some of the greatest quarterbacks put in time in the film room.
Probably
not,
all.
Right? All, right?
All
like to look and see, and this is what you need to do, and blah, 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 and get that through to him. We're about to make such a financial investment in you, but I need more from you. Why can't we have that conversation rather than like this terribly written, you got to be in front of it, there can't be a TV or radio on, you know what I mean? Like
they got to have a camera or something
right.
on the computer. Or
am I right or wrong, Chris? Look, the whole idea, like it's not just hey, have a conversation. We want you to watch more film, and you're gonna be working with Bill Jones. He'll work with you, and what? No, it's like on your own and independent, and you just can't cut corners. You shouldn't have to tell a guy that you're paying $46 million.
I agree, and I am trying to find a silver lining.
No, I get it.
That is
I know.
it, right? But no, it isn't a good look. It just speaks to immaturity. I mean, look, college football is big time now, and you got to study film in college.
You just have to. That's the way the game is. That's all.
Right.
What do coaches all talk about, Chris? All coaches talk about is staying overnight watching film.
Yep.
They don't go home. They sleep on their couch in their office 3 nights a week.
So is this enough of a red flag for you to say they made a mistake in giving him that money?
I mean, I don't think so, because you had 2 choices. Sign him now because it's cheaper, or get rid of him, or say you don't want him. Like, seriously. You could have.
They had Josh Rosen. Remember
they pulled the plug, and they pulled the plug, Chris, after
1 year.
After 1 year. So if you really believe, this guy's not it, they could have said thank you and made a trade and said, let's trade this guy, so they didn't do that. Because
he does have value, right? I'm sure you could have.
They could have easily, before letting everybody else know about all that, Chris could have said, hey, he's available, and trust me, there would have been 12 teams trying to sign him.
Right. That's why I think they're looking at it like, yeah, we're upset. We're bothered that he doesn't have, that he doesn't study film and that he doesn't have the internal drive to do it. But if he does it, and he's going to have to do it according to this contract, we think, right, however they enforce it. If he does it, we think he's going to be the bomb. And I think that's how they're looking at it. So we will see. All right, your turn to win on Kyler Murray. Is this homework clause, as they're calling it, enough of a red flag for you to think, man, Cardinals made a mistake?
All right, let's kick it off with Jacob in Vegas. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up, Jacob?
Hey, guys. I do think the Cardinals made a mistake, but not for the reasons you're saying. I think all of these teams that are mortgaging their futures on quarterbacks are finding out that they can't get back to where they were as a whole team. If you look at Russell Wilson, he got to 2 Super Bowls. They paid him, no more Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers, they paid him, no more Super Bowls. I think the same might happen in Kansas City because they can't afford to pay anybody else. If you look at who's getting the Super Bowls, Joe Burrow, rookie contract. Nick Foles and Carson Wentz, rookie contracts. Jared Goff, rookie contracts. Matt Stafford got built, and Tom Brady.
We lose.
So I don't think this is a good point.
Well, like you said, I didn't hear what you said about Matthew Stafford, but obviously he had the money.
Right. He got paid.
On a trade, it wasn't that they mortgaged their future to pay him. And I don't think the Rams have much left after this year because they're going to have to pay everybody too.
Yeah, no. This is it.
Spent a lot of money already.
They're pushed up against it, definitely. So, all right, appreciate the call. Mm-hmm. Jacob, thanks. Marty in Kentucky, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. Good to hear from you, Marty. What's up?
I'm glad to hear you guys back in the studio.
Marty, what's up, brother?
What's up, Chris?
Good to hear from you.
You know what? You guys know I'm a Steelers homer, so I'm going to use one of our guys as an example to my point. we got a young man named Najee Harris who, when the offense goes off the field, before they can even get the cameras on him, he's got his face buried in his studies. He's looking over the plays. He's looking over everything. His blocking responsibilities, his running, catching, everything. I mean, he is constantly trying to get better, learning, and that's not something that they're paying him to do, that you force him to do. That's something he does because of his character. And if I'm Arizona, I know they're in a little bit of a bind because the guy can go play professional baseball, although we don't know how great he would be.
Right.
What kind of money he'd make.
But he was a first-round pick. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it was a first-round pick. There's potential there, and there's obviously money potential there. So if he could...
We lost Marty.
Mentality. If he doesn't have mentality, I don't know if I want to extend anything with it.
Now, I mean, of course, I'm not mad at somebody if they say that bothers me. You know what I mean? And I'm a little afraid that I have to press the guy into studying when that should just be a part of the gig. You don't play that many games. You play once a week. It shouldn't be the end of the world. Sean in Sacramento. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Sean?
Yo, my uncle's from another mother, man. I'm glad y'all finally got all this vacation out y'all systems, and it's an honor to be after Marty from Kentucky, man.
I know. The bad part is, Sean, we don't want to say anything. We got a little bit more left, just a little bit.
Right.
I was even going to mention your trip, Rob. I'm trying to keep you from getting canceled for supporting that regime out there, brother, but...
Don't get me canceled, okay? I paid enough for my airline ticket.
I've already know, man. But it's good to have like Jesus and the kid Dynamite back in the building, man. Y'all sounding good with that man, Alex DJ Tyser behind the ones and twos, though.
Yes,
that's right. The ex-vegan. Yes.
There you go.
Wow.
Hey, the truth hurts.
Nah, it just feels all right.
Welcome to the dark side, Alex.
I don't know if I want to be here, Sean.
Well, but my take real quick, y'all, is I don't feel like the Cardinals had any other choice, man. Like Rob mentioned, Jody Yaler, he's a local dude out there in Arizona. He even admitted he's not sure if this dude has the maturity and everything else going on. And what else can you refute when this guy's taking you off his social media, being real? I don't want to say he's sour, but he just has a real attitude anytime he gets interviewed following any kind of losses. You got to put something in the contract to make sure that he steps up to the plate and takes care of those maturity issues. And I really don't have a problem with it, man. I look at it as somebody who, you know, they're hungry to get that big time contract, and you just got to protect yourself as an organization to make sure that he's doing everything in his power to take that next step. So I'm with y'all, man. I think it's fine that they put it in there, but let's see how he reacts when it comes to play the game.
Yep, absolutely. I hope it works out. Like I said, I was trying to find a silver lining, but we'll see. All right.